Hello everybody, I did a video last week at a mango farm and they planted most of their trees 20 feet apart, but then they started experimenting where they planted closer than 20 feet apart. They planted like 10 feet. They even did a mango hedge of 8 feet. And I'm getting my irrigation put in my other property, and I was talking to that guy who has his mango trees spaced 20 feet apart. And he came to my house and he looked at my trees and he was in agreement that it's not going to work long term if you plant the trees too close. So I'm really excited. I'm starting to trim back some trees. I'm getting rid of some trees and things are looking really nice. So I just wanted to show you all here what's going on here. So as the trees are getting older, I get to clean up the trees. And this is my lemon zest tree, a top rated, possibly the best mango of them all. Some people have problems with bacterial black spot on them, but I haven't. And the bottom of the tree I cut. I know some people like to have the bottom of the tree full. You will get more mangoes that way, but they'll be hanging on the floor, which is going to be more work. So I don't do that. Now, even though there's irrigation there, I am not putting this on for most of the year on irrigation. Only when I see a few baby mangoes starting to come, I might put the irrigation on for a few weeks, but that's it. Besides that, nothing. And I'm really liking the way the tree looks. It's really starting to look clean now, and it's opened up the bottom. Now, initially, let me move this out of the way. Initially, I had a tree there, a pineapple pleasure, and then I have this sweetheart here. Obviously, that would have been too tight. Now, on the irrigation there, I just have a mango in the pot just to get the irrigation. But it would have been too tight. That would have been 8 feet apart. I'm telling you, 8 feet apart, it's too close. Obviously, it wouldn't have worked, no matter how skinny I kept these trees. At least, if I had this whole area to myself, I would have gotten on the outside of each, but the inside definitely wouldn't have worked. These here are about 12 feet, maybe 13. That's acceptable. That will work. I don't want these trees to get much wider than they are right now. Maybe a little bit taller, not too much taller, but this tree here, the sweetheart, it's going to start to bend tremendously. And you see the bottom's clean now. It's looking much better. And this is probably going to be a temporary tree, this sweetheart, which I don't mind because it's not, I'm not having trouble picking when they're ripe anyway. But reason being is I have this sugarloaf here. Now, this sugarloaf is going to get big, and that right there is about 9 feet. It's going to be too close. I can't stress enough not to plant too close if you're looking for long-term trees. Short-term, it'll work. I'll get mangoes off that and off that, but long-term, it won't. Now, coming here, I cut back this Adamoya tree that I'm actually thinking about taking out. And that's not a space issue. It's just the Adamoyas aren't doing as well as I thought they would do. And I could use that space. Now, initially, it would have been great if I originally planted this tree a little bit over, which I still can. So I still might do that and try to save the tree and just top work that. But there's a cac tree, and that tree's going to get really big as well. So two of my goals is either I'm going to have to get rid of this tree, or I could move this one over a little. So I'll see how it goes, but that cac gets really big. So this whole area is going to be clean. So we'll see how it goes, but I just wanted to tell you again about the distance between the trees and show you. So I want to show you a few of my other trees distance-wise, how 20 feet is working. Okay, so welcome to Mango Land, and as I was telling you all, I'm getting some irrigation put in that I'm really excited. So in a couple of weeks, these trees will have water, but So here's an update on these trees. That's a little gem tree. And that is a sunrise. Sunrise is a really big tree. And in between here I had my 015. 015 is super big. And I ended up putting a dwarf Namwa banana tree in the middle for now. But if that 015 stayed there, temporarily it would have worked for a couple of seasons. But eventually these trees are going to get bigger, like the trees I just showed you. There would not have been enough room for the 015. Where these chairs are here, I had my Namduk Mai tree. And this tree here is my orange essence. It might or might not work, so we'll have to see. Now, with the idea of having some temporary trees and leaving these trees farther apart, I have the sunrise here. I put a Karen Michelle there and a fruit punch on the other side, all 10 feet, to get some mangoes for a couple of years, but eventually it's going to be too tight. But I still have 20 feet, actually 21 feet, so that's going to work temporarily, but eventually I might have to take that out. The dot in the middle will get really big. That's a sea crest. Eventually it might be in the way, and there's my temporary fruit punch. So the spacing is really nice now on these trees. Because then I have my white Paris, and I put another dwarf banana there, and then in the back I have my Super Alfonso, which I love. And I'm not going to let these get too high. And if they did, the Y is there anyway, so I can't. But I'm not going to let them get too high. So this is another temporary tree. Another great example. That's a guava. That's a Super Alfonso. In the middle, 10 feet, is buttercream. That's too short a space. Eventually, buttercream is going to have to come out. And then everything will be spaced wonderful there. So it's okay, I'll get mangoes for a little while off this, but eventually they'll have to come out. And here's another example. This is the Glen that I took out. That's a fruit cocktail, and that's a gram. Eventually it would have been too tight, so I got another banana in there instead for the meantime. Everything's looking good out here now. I'm excited to get irrigation in, and I'll keep you all updated. So the last thing I'm going to show you here is my neighbor's trees here. This is a Kerry, and that's a cotton candy. Now, cotton candy grows straight up. And this, again, temporarily will work. This Kerry is pretty big, and it's not going to get much bigger than that, or he's not going to let it get much bigger than that. But as this cotton candy grows, even though it goes straight up, it's still going to grow over. These trees are 14 feet apart. So 16 feet would give it a little bit more breathing room. 18 feet would be even better. But if this tree was the type of tree that was like this tree, it definitely wouldn't work this close. So when you are going to plant trees somewhat close, you have to plant the right varieties, because this tree growing straight up might temporarily work, but still you're much safer when you give it more room. All right, everybody, there you have it, a little update on the spacing of the trees. And let me know what you all think about that. Put your comments, questions below. I love learning and growing. All right, so may we all grow together. Have a great day, everybody, and keep growing.